Alright, welcome guys and gals to Frickin' Laser Designs and Tutorials. I'm Jonathan Vincent, and today we're going to go over how to design and create a coaster for Glowforge. We'll start in Photoshop and we'll end up in the Glowforge. Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is pick a photo. So in this case, I'll pick this photo with this young boy giving a salute. The next step for us to do is to desaturate this image. Now, the easiest way to do it is to go to Image, Desaturate, or Shift-Control-U, and we then desaturate our image. The next step is to go down here and click on Levels. Okay, and basically what we're going to want to do is to bring in the blacks. Basically, we want to crush the blacks and bring up the highlights. Okay, the highlights are what's really going to show up on the slate. Slate, by its very nature, is a very dark gray. You're not going to get a lot of gradations there, okay, because it's already dark gray. There's not going to be a lot of gradation. You're going to get the laser etching on it, and it's going to we're going to be picking out the highlights, the whites, and it'll make a lighter gray on the slate, and that's essentially it. Okay, again, not a lot of gradations going on there, so the image is going to, in the end result, going to be very black and white. All right, so after we're done with our levels, we want to do a curves adjustment. So we'll crush the blacks, okay, and maybe we'll bring up the whites a little more, crush a little more. Okay, so my best guess is right now we're going to, once it starts etching on the slate, we're going to really see the face well, the hand, maybe some of this in the shirt, up here in the window, and of course these little white lights. If we want to see the hat more, what we could do is go over to the mask here in the curves and go over here to the paintbrush, make sure our primary color here is black, and just paint it, okay, and that'll bring out some of the highlights. So let's do this real quick and dirty here, and let's find the bill, and there's the bill. Alright, and obviously I've gotten messy over here, so I can just switch back to white and repaint that. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, and then the last step is simply to invert. Okay, so this is what's going to be showing up, and now we know that our coasters, at least the coasters that I purchased, are 4x4 coasters. Of course, yours may be different, but mine are 4x4. So I'll go up here to the crop tool, make sure it's 4x4 in the aspect ratio for the crop box, and set it the way we want it. Looks pretty good to me. And that will be our coaster. So the next step, of course, is to save it or export it. I'll go ahead and save it as a JPEG. And we'll go to our location here, put it in our Glowforge Tutorials Slate Coaster. We'll title it Little Boy. Save, save, and it'll be ready to go. I'm going to go and stop this part of the tutorial because I'll need to pick it up on the Glowforge end. Okay, I'll see you after the cut. Alright, let's pick up where we left off. So you'll see I have a 4x4 coaster that I picked up. It has foam feet on the bottom that were put on crooked. I don't like foam feet. I especially don't like them when they're put on crooked, so I'm taking them off. I'm going to put self-adhesive felt on the bottom of mine. I picked up 2 sheets from the Hobby Lobby and made a 4x4 template in Photoshop to etch those out, or excuse me, cut those out accurately to place on the bottom. Now right here you'll see that I'm about to put on oil. I'm putting oil on the slate coaster because someone on the Glowforge Community Forum suggested doing so. They suggested putting on mineral oil. I did not have mineral oil, so I'm putting on olive oil. I'm putting it around the edges, I'm putting it on top. In the end result, it's going to be pretty shiny, so I'm going to need to go over it with a dry cloth, which I'm about to do. I'm going to fold that washcloth over to the dry side and rub it vigorously to get off that excess oil. Now, I'm not sure what the dangers are of leaving that excess oil on there. Perhaps there aren't any, but I just figure heat, light, fire, oil are not good combinations, so I'm going to take it off and let it sit for a moment before I put it in. And that's that. Alright, so here's my Glowforge, and there I am. I'm opening the Glowforge top and putting in a piece of paper and a coaster. Now the piece of paper, of course, is just to capture or catch the laser as it goes off the edge of the coaster, because I'm looking for a full bleed on the coaster. Okay, so if you have your own file, you're going to click on upload to upload your file. In this case, we already have the file here, so I'm going to hit open. And the Glowforge interface is going to render to the design. And let's see if we can't refresh the camera. There we go. So now we can see our coaster. We're going to want to click up here at unknown and use uncertified material. Put in the thickness of the coaster. In this case it's 0.2. And then we're going to want to enter our settings, which will be 950, 30. We want to put the grayscale to very power, lines per inch to 340, and then we're going to want to shrink the image down. Always like the image to bleed off a little bit so the coaster itself has a full bleed, edge to edge graphic. And that's why we have the paper under here to catch the laser. Okay, and that's it. So then we'll go ahead and double check everything. Power 950, speed 950, power 30, very power minimum 0, 340, 2, 1 pass. Everything looks lined up, and then we'll click print. Alright, so it looks like it's going to take 25 minutes and 47 seconds. All we have to do now is push the Glowforge button. Okay, wow, that was fast. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting oil back over the tile. Now, once it comes out of Glowforge, at least for my taste, it was a little too muddly. The lines weren't very crisp. The whites showed up really well, but they weren't crisp. Putting oil on it crisped the lines up. The downside is it tends to darken it a bit, so it's really going to be up to personal choice on this. So I'm wiping it down, and then I'll go back over with the dry cloth and clean it up a bit. Afterward, I'm going to put adhesive down. Now, I don't bother showing you this in the video. I didn't want to go ahead and do a time lapse or show me in the Glowforge interface cutting felt out. It's basically the same thing. You go in there with a template, which I will provide in the description below, a link to the template so you can have that. And basically, you throw your felt down, put in the settings, and again, I'll put the settings down in the description. But you'll put it in the Glowforge, cut it up, and then glue it on down. Not really a big deal. Okay, you gotta make sure that's smooth, don't I? Alright, beautiful. Look at that guy. It's my kid, by the way. Cute kid. Yeah. Alright, and there's the finished product. Looks pretty good. Again, depends on the light, but to me, it's pretty crisp, pretty clear, and it makes a nice gift. Thanks for watching.